Hey everybody, so I felt like I needed to do a video like this for a very long time on this channel. I just haven't been exactly sure how to go ahead and film it, but I figured there's no time like the present, so I think I'm just gonna call this video Mom Guilt, because you know what, a lot of my videos, most of my videos are all the positive things in my life. Either I'm showing you products that I really like, I'm showing you day in the life vlogs or big events in our life, and most things are positive. But as a viewer, I don't want you guys to get the impression that my life is always positive or that I feel like my life is always positive, because that's absolutely not the case. However, if I'm filming a day in the life video and something goes crazy, like the girls have a complete meltdown, there's a fight, something goes, I don't know, wrong in our life, I don't feel like it's appropriate to be filming that situation. So if you're wondering why you only see, for the most part anyways, happy events in my life, that's why. But I thought I'd put out this video just to kind of, I guess, get real with you guys, get honest about what it's like in my life, being a mom of 3 and trying to work from home and just having a baby and all the stresses, because my life is not perfect. Another reason I decided to film this video is because as a viewer myself, I'm subscribed to a lot of people, I watch a lot of different types of videos, but my favorite videos are the ones that are the most real. I don't want to say that I like videos when things go wrong. That's not the case. I just like when I'm watching somebody and I feel like I'm getting the true, real, raw emotions of them. So I was trying to think of a way to kind of convey that with you guys. I try and do that as best as I can in day in the life videos, but I thought I'd put out like a separate video about things that aren't necessarily going the best in my life, or things that stress me out day to day, just, I guess, struggles. One of the biggest areas in my life that I feel the most guilty about currently being a mom is the fact that I am working from home, which is funny. It's a double-edged sword. I am very thankful that I am able to work home and stay with my kids and set my own schedule and do all that. That being said, when I am working from home as opposed to working outside the home, I feel extra guilty, and I don't know if it's because I feel like if I'm home, I should be with the kids at all hours of the day. Now, when I am filming videos like this, my husband is watching them or a family member is watching them. So someone is there watching them, but I just feel kind of anxious, like I should be there with them at all times of the day. And I know what, all this stuff that I'm going to say, it's not necessarily truth, it's just the way that I feel. And if you're a mom yourself, I'm sure you can relate to a lot of these feelings. I would love for you to share things that you feel guilty about in life, or just, I guess, let me know that I'm not alone. But yeah, whenever I'm working, not even when I'm working, like if I do anything for myself, if I go to a workout class, which is very few and far between, or if I have a hair appointment, I just feel so guilty, and it's ridiculous because the majority of my day and my week I'm with the kids, and I'm with the kids alone. So I take care of them a lot completely on my own, but when it comes to something for myself or something for work, I just can't get over that feeling of guilt, feeling like I should be with them at all hours of the day. I don't know if that makes sense. Another area that I feel guilty is the TV. Now, I don't necessarily think TV and watching YouTube videos is all bad. I let my kids watch it and I don't have an issue with that. Where I feel guilty is when they've watched it too much for my liking within a day, or if I'm using it as kind of a crutch. If I'm using it because I need to make a phone call, if I'm checking emails, trying to reply to emails. Unfortunately, Cassidy doesn't watch the TV yet, so I'm usually trying to manage her too. But if I'm trying to, I don't know, like say I'm trying to put Cassidy down for a nap, but I want the kids to stay quiet while I'm getting her down for the nap, I'll set them up in front of the TV. And I just feel guilty about that. I know there are other ways to distract your children, and sometimes I do those ways, but I definitely do use TVs and like other electronic devices as a crutch more than I'd like. Giving my children equal attention. Having 3 is hard in that area, especially when my oldest is in school the majority of the day, 5 days a week. Riley's in school, in preschool, 3 days a week for 2.5 hours, so she's not away from home too much. But I feel like now that Kayla's in grade 1, and even when she was in kindergarten, I don't see her that much anymore, and it's kind of true. Like, we get up in the morning, we get them ready, we give them breakfast, and we're rushing off to school. And then I don't see her again until almost 3 o'clock. And yeah, we have our evening activities, but Kayla's really busy. She's in lots of things. She's in swimming and dance and sparks and piano lessons, and she has to practice piano, she has homework, like she wants to play with her friends. There are so many other things going on. And I know this is just going to be a trend as they get older. I'm going to spend less and less time with them, but it just, I don't know, it makes me sad in a way. It makes me feel guilty because obviously I spend the most time with Cassidy because she requires the most one-on-one attention. And then Riley's the next up because she is home most of the day. And then there's Kayla when I feel like I need to devote more time to her one-on-one. And I really do try my best, but it's just one of those areas that I feel like I'm not always winning in. Going along with the equal attention is equal everything. So equal clothing, equal activities. I know life is not fair. Everything doesn't have to be equal, and that's fine. I know that a lot of these things I know in my brain, but in my heart I don't know, I feel crappy about it sometimes. So clothing, I mean, Kayla gets, for the most part, new clothing. Riley gets hand-me-down clothing. She does get new clothing too, but not to the extent that Kayla does. So it's creating an issue. I try and, make Riley feel special by buying her things when I can, or birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, but there just isn't any need. They're 18 months apart. Riley's on the bigger end, so season-wise, they're perfect. There's no need to go out and buy new ones, so it's silly, but it just makes me feel guilty. And same thing with activities. Kayla's in more things than Riley simply because she's older and she has more interests, such as piano. Kayla's been in piano for over a year now. Riley has absolutely no interest in piano. I offered to put her in it. She doesn't want to be in it. So it shouldn't make me feel guilty. But things like Girl Guides, Riley's not old enough. Just trying to balance everything out. And once Cassidy gets to the age that she's able to realize who gets what and who's doing what first, I think it's going to get a little bit crazy. So I just need to keep everything in perspective. This next one I'm really trying to change because I'm noticing that it's a habit that we're creating and it's something that I really don't like for our family in particular, and that is using food as a reward. And for the most part, this goes for Riley. She's our foodie. She loves food, but she lives from snack to snack to meal to snack. She can be eating a snack and asking me what's for lunch or what's for dinner or what's the next snack. So it's a constant thing with her. I'm constantly trying to fill her up, but she's also wanting like fruit snacks or things that aren't necessarily the most healthy for her. And I find a lot of times I will throw out food as a reward just to get her to do something, which sounds terrible, but like, what's an example? So cleaning the playroom. So as a way to, I don't want to say bribe, but encourage my children to clean up their toys and put them away, I'll use food as a reward. Like if you clean up the playroom and it's totally spotless, you can have a fruit snack today, or you can have one of those yogurt squeezies, or whatever it is that they want. And I don't like that. I don't like that about my parenting. Again, this is not putting down anybody else's parenting. This is not the intention of the video. These are just things in life that make me feel guilty. I feel like there are other ways that I could be encouraging them and rewarding them besides enticing them with food. I feel guilty that I try and make my older kids, stay quiet when Cassidy is napping. I just feel guilty about that. I feel like by baby number 3, you shouldn't have that expectation. And it's not that I have that expectation, I just know that she naps better if everyone else is quiet. And we have 3 levels in our house, so if the kids are downstairs in their playroom, then they will not disrupt the baby. And I don't know, I just feel bad. All their toys are down there. It's fine. Like, we're down there with them, Harrison's down there with them, people are down there with them playing. But I just feel guilty that I've kind of closed off that area of the house for the most part while the baby is napping solely to cater to the baby. I wish that wasn't the case. I don't know. I just feel guilty about it. I really wish I had more time during the day, and I know that I'm not alone on this, but by the time I get to the end of the day, I always ask myself, did you spend, one-on-one time with your children? Did you teach them something? And I don't know. It sounds like it wouldn't take very much time at all, but especially with 3 kids, like, life gets crazy. Getting through everything that you need to get through, and meals made, and clothes clean, and house clean, and just all of that. And I wonder at the end of the day, did I actually sit down and teach my kids something? Did I actually sit down and play with my kids? And I don't feel like I'm doing the greatest job at that. And I'm trying to keep, I don't know, it's a balancing act in life, but these are things that I'm definitely struggling with. It always makes me wonder, what would it be like if I only had 1 kid? And I shouldn't do that to myself, but I know that, say we only had Kayla, her life, not that it would be very different, but it kind of would in a way. We'd have a lot more time to spend with her one-on-one. We'd be able to do a lot more with her one-on-one, like as far as traveling and doing things and staying up later, and I don't know, her life would just be very, very different. And on that same note, she'd be missing out having siblings and everything that she's got to do, you know, as our family of 5. So there's pros and cons to everything. It just makes me think. So these are some things that I feel guilty about on a daily basis, things I'm trying to just keep in the back of my mind and work on. I just wanted you guys to know that what you see in my videos is not always what my life is about. It gets crazy here. If you could see behind the scenes sometimes when I'm not filming a day in the life and crap hits the fan, so to say, it can get crazy. I can have 2 of my older kids having complete meltdowns, like hitting each other and just pulling each other's hair, and they're starting to say like things they shouldn't be saying to each other. So there's a lot going on in that world. The baby can be having a meltdown. Sometimes my kids even have issues in school, and I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to be telling you what their teachers have been saying or what the issues that they have been having, and they're not serious, but there definitely are things that we're working on even in school. So I think the gist of this video is life is a balancing act. You're never gonna feel like you're doing it all. There are not enough hours in a day. You just kind of have to keep everything in perspective, take a big breath, and know that you're doing the best you can. And by creating a video like this, I'm hoping that we can share down in the comments areas that we feel like we're struggling on, or just kind of support each other, let each other know that you're not alone. So yeah, I guess that's the gist of this video. Hope you guys appreciate kind of this side of me. I want to try and share it more often when I can. Let me know what you think in a comment. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye!